I met my now fiancée Jackie, fake name, when I started dating her sister. Then I married her sister a year later. We stayed married for 10 years. I knew of Jackie, but I never interacted with her as she wasn't allowed to talk to me because her mother was adamant that Jackie would try to seduce me. Jackie was a child at the time. I'm not joking. That was the reason she wasn't allowed to talk to me. That's how crazy my in-laws are. We were happy at first, but eventually my ex-wife started cheating on me. I stayed because I had children, but eventually she became violent towards us. My ex-wife got addicted to D, and then one day in 2018, she disappeared. By that time, Jackie was allowed to be around me as she had a fiancé, so she started to spend more time with my sons and I. In 2019, she moved in with her brother to escape from her fiancé, and I started to see more of her as I lived in the same apartment building as my brother-in-law. Now, Jackie is a quiet, conservative woman who dresses very modestly, so it shocked me when I found her at an adult party. We thought it would be funny to enjoy each other's company because it was a weird way for us to bond over a common enemy, her sister. It was only casual and we never did it outside of the parties. But when the world shut down, we decided to continue partying, but just the two of us. One broken condom later, and Jackie ended up pregnant. We decided to give co-parenting a shot, and we both wanted this child, so it was going to be very easy. But telling her parents, mostly her mother, was the difficult part. My mother-in-law is insane. My ex-wife was her favorite, while Jackie was the scapegoat. What my mother-in-law put Jackie through is disgusting. A lot of it isn't really my place to talk about, but a few things that she put Jackie through. Made her attend an all-girl religious school when my mother-in-law found out Jackie was S-active. Then, when she was 18, forced her into a marriage to help her be less of a W. My mother-in-law knew that Jackie's fiancé was A-ing her, but she didn't care. So when my in-laws, my mother-in-law actually, took it a lot better than we originally thought, until she got Jackie alone. Then she proceeded to A her. I won't go into too much detail. We moved 5 states away, changed our phone numbers, and we started preparing for co-parenting in our new house. We slept in separate rooms, and I was right by Jackie's side all the way through the pregnancy. Our daughter was born very early, and she was perfect. Jackie and I started dating a year after our daughter was born, and I proposed to her 1 month ago. Our daughter is almost 2 years old now, and she is her mother's clone. She has some health problems, yes, but that doesn't matter. This child was the boost that I needed to get my crap together. I haven't had a single drop of alcohol since she was born, and I'm doing a lot better mentally. Since my daughter has been born, my relationship with my sons has grown significantly. They love their little sister. They love being big brothers, and seeing them interact is amazing. She is perfect. Now, the only contact Jackie has with her side of the family is that brother, as her other siblings are still under their mom's control. We had no contact with that family since the incident, and I haven't been in contact with my ex-wife after she finally signed the divorce papers. So it was very shocking when I got a call from my fiancé crying, saying that my ex-wife and my mother-in-law were trying to break into the house, and I could clearly hear them screaming and banging on the door. I immediately left for home, and when I arrived, the cops were already there. Apparently, my in-laws pulled up in front of the house, and when Jackie saw them, immediately grabbed the kids and ran inside. I saw from the cameras how awful my ex-wife looked. These years have been hitting her harder than the D she takes. My mother-in-law looked crazy as always, and still dressed like Beverly Keane, and just as insane. Honestly, I don't know how to react. My older sons have always been terrified of their mother, and this incident has been really stressful. Jackie just finally crashed because she was so afraid that her family might try to kidnap the kids. She stayed up all night. The police said there's nothing my in-laws can be arrested for, as there was no evidence of their actions being malicious. I don't know why they decided to show up now. I don't know how they found us. But all I know is I'm annoyed that my future wife and my children are scared. However, today I got a text from my ex-wife that said, "Aster, the love of my life. I'm so sorry I hurt you, and I will admit that. I cheated on you. I stole from you, and I broke your heart. But I have changed. We can be a family again. Me, you, and the boys. I know you missed this picture, plus video. I love you, and I'm not going to stop fighting for you. I lost you once, and I'm not going to lose you again. Nothing's going to come between us, not even that W and that little B she has. I know Jackie seduced you because she is a W. She's been a W since she was 10 years old, and I'll be surprised if that baby is actually yours. B, our youngest, is not even mine. I don't know when she caught you up in her web, but I promise you, baby, I will cut you down. I promise you. She then sent me a picture of my daughter and said, just look at her. She isn't your child. She has, racist slur for Asians, eyes. You're not her father. How did Jackie convince you that you were? I promise you, I'm going to get you out. I immediately blocked her number, then just closed my eyes in frustration from what she called my child and my future wife. When I calmed down, I burst out laughing because that dumb bee forgot that my father is Asian. Also, I think it's funny that my ex-wife actually believes she has a chance with me. Why the hell would I trade Jackie for her? Jackie is that fresh glass of water in the morning, while my ex-wife looks like William Dafoe's nutsack with googly eyes stuck to them from ball sweat. I honestly was so tempted to send her the message, why the hell do I need you when I got the newer model? I then get a message from mother-in-law. You will face our Lord, and may He have mercy on your soul. He will show you His power and what He will do to sinners. Yeah, that was it. Still ducking crazy as always. I will admit, Jackie is 22 while I am 39. The disgusting things that woman did to Jackie in the name of the Lord makes me sick to my stomach. I wish my mother-in-law would burn like the witch she is. I honestly don't know why Jackie still cares about that woman. Out of all the hell my mother-in-law has put her through, I'm surprised Jackie can still smile. But does anyone have any advice? I can use some. That Defoe's nutsack dig was gold. I'm sorry you're going through this. Maybe get a restraining order so if they show up again, the cops can do something? I'm 16 female. I live with my aunt in Colorado. I have a sister who is 22 female. We grew up in New York with our mom. Never knew our dad. My mom passed when I was only 2 in a car accident. That's when we moved to Colorado. But a lot of people from my mom's life still kept in contact with the family. One of these people was Jared, who our aunt always told us had been close friends with my mom. When my sister was 17, her and my aunt's then husband had a huge explosive fight and she left. She went back to New York and told us Jared had agreed to let her rent a room from him. 2 years later, they told us they were dating, which we all thought was super weird. But by that point, my aunt was in the middle of her divorce and it was getting really nasty with custody of their kids. And since my sister was all the way in New York, even though she told us she thought it was odd, my sister told her she was happy and she loved him and he treated her well. We knew nothing had been going on before then because my sister had been dating this girl for about a year before she started dating Jared. So fast forward to now, and my aunt is getting ready to move out of this house because she can't afford the payments on her own. So we had to empty out the basement, and she gave me all of my mom's stuff that had been buried down there to go through. There were all kinds of pictures and letters and journals, and even though it was cool to see that side of my mom, there was also a lot of stuff that was TBI, and I actually found letters from my sister's now boyfriend to my mom from when he was deployed. Really romantic stuff, saying stuff that would suggest they were dating, or at least had been together more than once. These letters are literally up until a week before the accident. One of them was still unopened because I guess it had arrived after she had died. Do I tell my sister? She does finally seem the happiest she's ever been. I don't know what to do. Age gap. Dated the mom previously. Last thing on the creep checklist is if your sister looks like your mom. Really round out the ick factor. Update 1. So I ended up taking a few pics of the letters and texted it to my sister and said I found a whole bunch of them in mom's old stuff, that I could send her pics of the rest if she wanted. And that's all I said, because I didn't want her to think I was judging her or her relationship or anything. A few minutes later, I get a call from my sister's phone and I answer it. But it's not my sister, it's Jared. And he was so pissed off. And it was kind of scary because I've always gotten along with Jared, but he flipped out. He told me that I was trying to start drama and that those letters were from a long time ago, and he didn't know my mom had kept them, and it was an invasion of his privacy for me to read them. He told me that I'd better throw them out and not tell my sister about it, that she's happy and she's finally recovering. My sister had a really bad eating disorder up until recently. She was hospitalized a lot when she was a teenager, and gaining weight, and telling her about this could stress her out and be triggering. It's always a control thing. When she feels like she's not in control, she always stops eating and becomes obsessive over how her body looks. And he said she can't be stressed out right now. I told him I thought she should know and he should be open about his past. And he said it would do more harm than good to tell her. He said not to try to tell her again. He was really mad and it was pretty freaky. So I guess I'm not going to tell her unless I can do it face to face. I think he might have already told her something about me though, because she's blocked me on literally everything, down to email. I guess it's not something she needs to know though, especially because he's right about how this might trigger her ED. It's very creepy that he seemed to be very into your mother and then switched to her daughter after she passed. Does your sister look like your mother? He doesn't want you to hide it just for her sake. It's for him, or he would have been open about it before they started dating. Make sure you let her know. Get her on the phone and tell her you tried to tell her something, but he wouldn't let you and is trying to hide it from her. Then send them right while you're on the phone with her to be sure she gets to see it before he can delete it. Yeah, she looks like her. I can't. I'm blocked on everything. Phone, email, all messaging apps. I'm worried he'll intercept me again. It was really freaky. Update 2. So I texted one of the people who used to live in New York who was friends with my mom, but they had moved out of New York a while ago, and they said they had lost contact with Jared. I got freaked out after reading all of these comments and everything, so I called the police department where my sister lives and told them I hadn't heard from her and couldn't contact her and was worried about her. Later on, the cops called me and told me they had gone to her house and talked to her and she was okay. I was basically just going to drop it because as long as she's okay, I really don't want to stress her out or have Jared get mad at me again or anything. We've been going through a lot of personal stuff here too. My aunt's almost ex-husband has been making a lot of drama and calling the house and making threats on social media about my aunt and stuff. He's the reason why my sister went back to New York. He's not a nice guy and is super creepy and My aunt's already had to call the cops on him for driving over here drunk at like 3 a.m. and pounding on the door. And my cousin, my aunt's son, is supposed to be staying with his dad but is hanging out with a lot of bad people and goes off MIA for days at a time. It's a really bad situation all around. So the next day after the wellness check, I was in my room and someone rang the bell and my aunt answered and it was ducking Jared. I wanted to jump out of the window. I overheard my aunt being like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" and that he should have called first so she would have made him something to eat. And he was just like, "It's okay, I'm only stopping by." I was in the area to see a client, and Morgan had mentioned that Madison found some pictures and letters I had sent to Abigail while I was deployed, and I'd love to see them. I honestly felt like sobbing at this point because I was so freaked out. He does have some business in Colorado, but he was definitely lying about that. I had told my aunt everything that the letters had said before, but I honestly don't think she was listening to me or taking me seriously because she had just told me to drop it. I don't know, maybe she just didn't want drama because she's dealing with so much crap with everything else. But she was like, "Sure, I'll tell her to bring them down." It didn't really matter because I still have copies of the letters on my phone and laptop. But walking down the stairs and giving him the letters was so terrifying. My hands were literally shaking. He was standing behind my aunt, but I swear he looked like he wanted to punch me. My aunt had just gotten a phone call from a lawyer or something, so she went to answer it, and he snatched the letters from me and told me to back the duck off. He was so pissed. He definitely knew it was me who called the cops on him. And then when he left, he just waved at my aunt because she was on the phone in the kitchen, and then came over and gave me a really weird, awkward hug, and then just left. I don't know what else to do at this point, so I'm going to wait until things with my aunt get less crazy, and then I'll talk to her about it again. Update 3. We've been going through a lot here. My aunt and her soon-to-be ex are getting a divorce, and it's really nasty. They were fighting for custody of her kids. My aunt called my sister to let her know what's going on. After she was done talking to her, my sister asked to talk to me. I got on the phone with her and she said that Jared had told her that I was trying to cause problems, going through his personal things and coming up with lies about him. I told her that all I had done was find letters he had written to Mom and tried to tell her about them. She said that I had no right reading the letters he sent to our mom, that those were personal and I should have just given them to him without reading them. She also said that Jared had already told her about his past with our mother. He says that our mom emotionally manipulated him, that she was toxic and to him, and that's why he got so upset when he found out I had found the letters. She said our mom used him and took advantage of him, and that I needed to mind my own business, that she was happy and didn't want me to meddle. I don't believe anything he said about my mom. The letters definitely didn't make it seem like she was taking advantage of him or anything. It seemed like he was super into her too. But either way, there isn't anything else I can do. She knows about the letters, and I guess she's okay with it and wants to believe what Jared is saying. She told me to mind my own business, and I'm going to, because at this point, there isn't anything else I can do, and I need to focus on school and everything that's going on here.